Hi, my name is Jay Lewis, and my mission is to make better decisions by using uh, better simulations. Today, we'll cover the initial uh, definition of your simulation. Um, in this case, I've got a orbit debris question. So that is the first step. What is a question? The second step is what are the main factors and what are the main parts of the system that we will simulate. Um, the we always have to simplify to some degree, so the first pass will be to get the bulk of it, and then we can build on it from there. So the problem is uh, the initial space station um, for doing the salvage, we'll call that a salvage station, will start at the ISS, and there's a lot of advantages to that I won't get into. From there, it will it can go a few degrees to another orbit and at a higher elevation. Um, it might be better to go even further over and up, closer to 900 kilometers. Uh, Perhaps the orbit further further over would be a larger change in inclination, but less of a change in altitude. The the other thing to consider is, do we move the salvage yard to the neighborhood we want to salvage, or do we leave it in one place and have salvage robots bring the salvage to it? One scenario might be it never goes above the original ISS orbit. The other possibility is it might move every time. And for the first pass, we'll just assume there is the one salvage yard. Um, the idea about multiple robots to bring it, the salvage makes sense, but at first, really one would be the minimum number. So that will be our simplification. One salvage yard, one robot. We will start at the ISS, and that is the problem statement. From there, what is the best? Maybe all three of those choices are a tie, and it's not clear what the best option, or it will be other factors that will drive it, and not what we see here. However, um, it might turn out one of these is clearly the best way to go. So what we need to do is set up the simulation to tell us that. So that's the next step. So this is Visio. It's my favorite tool for making diagrams. Um, Leave in the comments if you have a better one. I've tried a few things over the years. I keep coming back to it, but I'm sure any day now there will be something even better. My starting point's the flowchart template. Uh, it it's got everything we need, which really isn't much. The the question is, I'll call it the salvage station. These default fonts are kind of crazy small. It's a little bit of a Visio tutorial um, if you want one. Uh, the I'll just call it the bot. the debris, yeah, what should we call these? This is a core concept. So simplest is better. So and what are the important factors for each one? I'm going to say mass. We noticed before every orbit is a velocity. Should the size, content, is that enough? If we just keep track, well, and location, which I guess is velocity again. So we'll say, well, altitude and velocity. So inclination, yeah. And then this is a method. It's called functional diagramming, where you have relationships that the level of abstraction is higher to the left and details to the right. So since velocity and inclination determine the altitude, then that is fed by these. And I'm holding down the control key. These have, if you click on their little arrow, they will go to the next box over. So that's a good way to save some time. And all three of these have both a mass and an altitude. So then the question, so the mass will change. Yeah, so let's say the salvage bot has to get the debris and bring it back. Then sorry. F7 is a spell check. If we bring back the debris, the bot with the debris will have more mass. So these are functions, but then we also need processes, right? So this gives us the functions. What was that? 18. 18 looks pretty comfortable. The next step is the processes. I'll do it here for now. I'll probably end up making these different pages. So the salvage bot needs to grab the debris. I'm going to change that to derelict. No, I'll leave it. And then we need to salvage it. And the results of that. So if I'm using squares for objects, then I'm going to say this is reusable materials, objects, units. Yeah, so like a solar panel, an entire panel and all of its interconnects, it might be reusable almost exactly as it is. Its structure So that's a reusable unit. The other similar thing that we might get um, are artifacts, historic artifacts. One thing that is interesting are fluids. So coolant, fuels, um, and then the classic are materials. Uh, I'm not going to draw the lines. So we grab the debris. So we'll make a baseline case that we can compare to. So this will be, there's the text. So this is now the question is the baseline case where the salvage yard stays at the ISS, or will it be where it first moves? I'm going to say it stays at the ISS because that's the least simulating. Then we just have to worry about the bot zipping around. All right. And this is a title, so it's bigger. After it grabs the debris, well, then it repeats. So it basically, yeah. And then it brings to salvage, and it gets next. Well, it goes to the next one, repeats. All right, so this is enough to get started with our simulation. These are the key minimal functions and process steps to get us our first sim. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Please leave a comment if you have any, and like it, subscribe,